Welcome to the Random City Podcast.
Chester Copperpot! He was a pro! He never made it this far.
A competitor. He was very good.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it.
Where did you come from? From your blood.
I'm Groot. You will be.
When Godzilla's coming, y'all be tripping.
Just listen to the old Pork Chop Express Speaker's advice on a dark and stormy night.
You underestimate my power.
He's gonna be the third scariest thing on that train.
These guys come from legend. They're basically gods.
There's only one god, man. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Welcome back to the Random City Podcast. I'm Jimmy in Georgia. It's time to get random. It's been a while. Quite a while, actually. But it's fine. We're back. We're all good here. How are you? Today, we're going to be talking Black Panther. At this point, it's been quite a few months since the movie has come out, and I finally wanted to go ahead and post this. I recorded this not too long after the movie was released, but I also wanted to actually talk about Black Panther, so I have not posted just yet, and so I think it's time to... I do want to say before I get too far along, so I'm going to be talking about the movie, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, I would suggest turning the audio off, or better yet, pausing this, going and watching Black Panther, then coming back. Thanks. And so, we're going to jump into that. So anyway, Black Panther. This movie was phenomenal. It's definitely one of my favorite Marvel movies, just in general. There's been, I think, 19 of those, maybe 20 by now. And this year there were 3, which is just kind of crazy. I definitely enjoyed this more than Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Both of those were okay. I honestly thought Infinity War was a downer, so that's kind of why I would rank Black Panther up higher on that list. And in so many ways it was kind of just a more fun adventure movie with a good message, and I don't know, they saved the day at the end, which again is what I like to see in the movies. Directed by Ryan Coogler. He did a fantastic job. Chadwick Boseman is phenomenal as T'Challa and the Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan was fantastic as the Killmonger. Lupita Nyong'o, Danai Gurira. It goes on and on. There were so many great performances. I really enjoyed the story and the mythology, the world building, even though it is still our world. It's a different culture. It's a different creation story or whatever of their culture, of their civilization. And I loved how advanced they were, how they were, separate and hidden. It's so many cool things, so many good things. One thing that I found very interesting too was the fact that T'Challa's father created the whole problem in this movie. I like that there were consequences to their actions. Eric, Mr. Killmonger, could have been taken back home and could have been raised with his people. But instead he was abandoned after they killed his father. And so, that caused so many problems years later. Almost cost them their entire way of life, which is just crazy, but it's a good storytelling. I don't know, there was just so many neat things in this movie. I mean, for me, I don't know about many of you, I wasn't familiar with the character really from comics. I like Marvel comics. I have quite a few Marvel comics actually over the years since I was a kid, and in more recent years as well. Black Panther's never really been one of those that I was interested in. But I find these kind of characters are the ones that I really enjoy. I did get I forget the exact title. It was on Kindle, a collection of some of the Black Panther stories. Anyway, to me, a good sign of a good comic book movie is after the movie, I'm interested in comics, I'm interested in source material, I'm interested in their, origin stories, all those kinds of things. And so this is one of those movies that got me interested in the character. I really loved the character of, I guess, Shuri. It was T'Challa's sister, which was, I guess, Letitia, right? I'm probably butchering her first name. But she was fun. Like, she was one of the most fun characters in the movie. It really kind of reminded me of, or maybe a little bit something like Peter Parker, that she was super intelligent, could create just crazy machinery and things. but she was having fun doing it at the same time. And so I thought that was great. I just love the technology they had in their civilization there in Wakanda. It's so cool with all the things. I mean, vibranium can do anything, apparently. I also thought it was really cool to see Andy Serkis on screen as, himself. Granted, he was playing Ulysses Claw, but having him not be a motion capture person, I think was really good. I think he should do that more often. I mean, he's great in things like the War of the Planet of the Apes and all those other movies, King Kong, Lord of the Rings, obviously. But he doesn't get the chance to act, with his real self very often. He did a great job. I always enjoy Martin Freeman in pretty much anything, whether it be The Office, Sherlock, The Hobbit. I really like him in pretty much whatever he does. So yeah, again, this great cast. Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett. There's so many people here. It was great seeing Denai Guerrera not be Michonne from Walking Dead, by the way. She's very talented. It's just a very good movie. One other thing that was really interesting to me in the movie were the relationships within the Kingdom of Wakanda. Like how the husband and wife, I want to say Nakia, maybe? I don't know. Lupita Nwanga's character, I believe. Her and her husband were on opposite sides of supporting Killmonger. And so they actually, at one point, were fighting. Like, in a physical fight there at the end with their weaponry. Which was just, an interesting little part of the story. Just so many things of the culture and how they determined who the leader was. The other group of people who were outside of Wakanda in the mountains with the snow and stuff. There's just so many cool things in this movie. Visually, storytelling wise, everything. I mean, this is one of the best movies I've seen in a really long time. And I love the way this movie ends, where they've decided they're not going to hide any longer. They're going to help the world. They're going to build an embassy or whatever. They're in Los Angeles, I guess it was, somewhere in California, where Eric had grown up, and then they were at the UN meeting at the very end, which was awesome. That was literally one of my favorite parts of the movie. Was right there at the very end, when the guy's like, "What could you offer us?" So good, so good. Continuing in the whole spoiler alert section, I guess I'll add another one here for Infinity War. If you don't want to hear anything about Infinity War, again, you might want to stop this, go watch that, and come back. The way Infinity War ended was such a downer. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. One of the things we saw happen at the end of Infinity War was, half the population of the universe disappeared, turned into dust. One of which being Black Panther. Okay, we all know that's not going to take. We all know he's going to come back. We all know Peter Parker's coming back. I mean, they've announced Spider-Man 2, Far From Home. I mean, it was kind of a dumb move in a lot of ways, if you ask me. I think it was a cheap, oh, look what we did. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think most of those deaths are going to be real deaths. I think there's a couple that would be, in my book, that took place before the end, where everyone was turned to dust. I think the ones before that would stay. I think the ones after that probably won't. But anyway, let me know what you thought about the movie. Let me know what you think about the future of the Marvel movies. What's coming up next? I think it's going to be good. I definitely think I'm going to enjoy the second part of Infinity War, or whatever they're calling it, much more than Infinity War. We all know Black Panther's coming back. It was a huge movie. I think it was a surprise in a lot of ways. It made over $1 billion. It was phenomenal. And I actually heard recently that the people who made this movie are pushing for this to be considered for an Oscar for Best Picture. And I think that would be phenomenal if a movie in the sci-fi / comic book genre would even be considered for that. And that would be fantastic. Well, I think that's going to pretty much wrap up this edition of the Black Panther. If you like the movie, awesome. Let me know. If you didn't like the movie, tell me why. Whatever you want to do. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you want to get in contact with the show, you can. You can email us at randomcitypodcast@gmail.com. You can go to randomcitypodcast.com, find all sorts of information about the show. You can follow us on Twitter at randomcity. Go to Instagram, follow us over there if you'd like, at randomcitypodcast. You can find us in iTunes, Google Play, in the Satchel Player, and in Stitcher if you search for the Jimmy and Georgia Radio feed. And that feed, Jimmy and Georgia Radio, is available in iTunes as well. And you can also go to jimmyandgeorgia.com for basically some of the same information. Oh yeah, one more thing I want to mention here. The Random City Podcast YouTube channel. Because there's definitely things on YouTube you don't necessarily have to watch that you just might want to listen to on your phone or something. And so I've been doing that to some things here and there. If you want to follow us on YouTube, please do. Search Random City Podcast. Go to our channel and click the subscribe button. That would be awesome. I think that will wrap us up. And so until Thursday, I'm Jimmy and Georgia. Peace.
Great Scott!